Hey everyone, I got kind of a quick one for you today. I've been needing to make something for my garage to help with organization that I'm not that great at, but I'm trying to get better. And that is something to hold all of my pneumatic tools. So I have several different tools that I have to use with my air compressor that I use often, some of them. And I just want to get them organized a little bit, out of the way, not just piled up in a cabinet or something like that, but I have, the typical tools, air nozzle. The one I use the most is my tire inflator. And then I have some miscellaneous ones. I don't use these often, but I also don't want to get rid of them. And then I have a few of my smaller pneumatic guns. I have a little stapler, and then I have a little pin nailer, and then a narrow crown stapler. I do have a framing nailer, but it's so big I'm not going to hang it up like I'm going to these. And I have a trim nailer. It's also kind of big. I don't use them that often, so I'm just going to leave them stored in this cabinet. So what I have these French cleats that I put on the wall over here by my compressor area, and this cabinet used to be over there. That's where I kept all my pneumatic parts and pieces. But I moved it so I could hang up my dust collector over here. So now I'm just going to make a little shelf that I can put on the French cleat that will hold all of these. I bought a bunch of these fittings off of Amazon. They're really cheapy ones. They're aluminum. They're universal, so they'll fit pretty much any of the chucks that you want to put on there. And they're not that expensive, but they did come in a 12-pack. I don't necessarily need all 12 of them, but I know I'm going to use about 8 of them right off, so I'll have a few extras. And I suggest if you decide to do this, get the quick connect ones that have a gap there, because you can just take these and snap them on like that and then pull it off like that. You don't have to pull this back to get it on there. And I just think that'll make it easier to put your tools up. Because what we're going to do is we're going to hang these on a wood shelf like this, so that I can just hang all these up right in a row all along the shelf. So that's what I'm going to work on today. I'm also going to have a little spot to keep my pneumatic oil that I use, and maybe some brad nails, narrow crown staples, things like that on the shelf. So the first thing I want to do is line out what I'm going to hang, just so I can get an idea of the size of what I need. So I know I'm going to have this. This is my most used tool, so I'm going to have it kind of close to the end. This is my second most used tool. What you want to do is get them as close as you can to each other. Like this can go like that, and that can go like that. So those can be pretty close, but you also want to pay attention to making sure you can get your fingers in there, because you don't want them like that, because it's going to be really difficult to get those loose. So you want to make sure you can at least get your fingers in there like that. So I want mine at least that far apart. And if we go center to center, that's going to be, I'm just going to say 1 3/4 center to center. And that should also allow me to get all of these hung up. That's plenty of room for 1 2 3 4 5. I'm going to do 6 of them 1 3/4. Those are probably pretty close. Yep. I got those each spaced 1 3/4 center to center, which will leave plenty of room for this kind of stuff. Get your fingers in there, everything should be good. But now we have the guns. Those are going to take up more room. And part of it's going to be, Sonny, it's not anybody. You're okay. You're okay. There's nobody here. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know. I know you heard a car door. That's all right. It's just us. All right, you ready? Now you want to do, where do you want to put this one? Put that right there. Is that okay? All right, good. Thanks for your help. You can go now. Thanks for your help. With these, I have to either have enough room this way, which is really going to make my shelf extra long. And I don't know that I want to go that long. Or I can do them this way. That will shorten, because I can do this one and this one like that, and then this one like that, which is going to make the shelf come out this way farther. You can also have them slightly tilted. There's just a lot of different ways you can do it. You just got to figure out how you want to organize them. But I think if I do that, then I would need to make sure my shelf, for this one, it's the tallest one, the center of that needs to be at least 4 inches out. So if I do a 5-inch shelf, then I can do these like this, but there would also be room if I wanted to slant them, each one like that. I've made up my mind, and that's what I'm going to do. Center to center is, I'm just going to say 4 inches. That'll give me enough room, because I'm going to go a little ways from this one. I'm going 3 inches from my last one, so there'll be one there, and then there'll be one at 4, and then there'll be another one at 4. That's my layout. I know my shelf depth has to be 5 inches to accommodate for my guns. So if I go 3 inches there, man, that is pretty close. Yeah, I'm right on. So my total length of the shelf, I'm going to make, so I'm going to say 22 inches long. Now, if you're interested in these, I will leave a link in the description below for Amazon. That's where I got them. There's a company out there that actually makes these specifically for this purpose. There's no guts inside. It's just the housing. And there's a couple different ways you can fasten them. You can run a screw up through the bottom and hang them, or you can run it up and have a bolt on top or something like that because it's hollow in the middle. But I just bought these. They're cheap, and then I'm going to drill a hole in the plywood, and it's got threads on it, and they'll hold fine. So it just depends on which route you want to go. The others are pretty expensive, but like I said, they are specifically made for this purpose. So I don't remember what those were. It's been a long time since I've seen them. But you could probably find them somewhere if you just get on the old Google. Now we'll come over here and cut them to 22 inches. As you can see, I just used some scrap wood I found out in the shed. Good enough for who it's for. Just so you know, my stop blocks are really accurate. I set them up myself. I would use a tape measure if this was really critical, but it's not. All right, so here's my 2 pieces. It'll go like that, and then this will be like that. That's what we're going to go with. Now you could sand these down, make them look really nice if you want to. I like my garage to look nice if I can make it look nice, but you know what? I want to spend time on other things. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on stuff like this. I did put one extra one here just in case. Better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. So I'm going to drill those holes and we'll get these put in. Now I did do some testing on this on the drill bit size. And I will say 3/8 drill bit for these particular ones. If you get different ones, you have to figure that out. But these particular ones, 3/8 was way too small. I couldn't get the thread started. And the next size up I had was 1/2 inch. Too big. I could get them in. They would hold kind of, but they'd come out fairly easy, and I didn't want to take that chance. I found that 7/16, it's what size I have here, is about the right size. I said about the right size for this. Now I do have a drill press that would probably be easier to do this with, but I don't use it all that much, so it kind of becomes a catch-all, and it's got a bunch of stuff on it right now, and I don't want to clear it off. So I'm just going to mark me a depth. I don't want to go all the way through. Moment of truth. Push down to get it started good. I think this is the hardest part. The wrench. Once it gets started, theoretically it should thread itself in there. Theoretically. Put a little pressure down, I guess, and turn the wrench. Seems to work pretty good. It is much easier to get them in if you use a 1/2 inch, but I just don't trust them. They just don't stay well. Okay. Ain't coming out. That's pretty good. It's not quite completely all the way down because it kind of spreads the wood a little bit. Probably a much better way to do this, but that worked. Just now I gotta do the rest of them. All right, clean up on aisle 46. And this may take me a little bit, so I'll be back when I get them all put in. So one thing I did kind of figure out as I went down the line after I got a couple on, if you use your drill bit, you know, 7/16 with these particular pieces, and you just waller the top of that hole out a little bit, kind of like this, not much, but it makes it much easier to start these, and you still have plenty of wood in there to get a good bite with the threads, and they're tight. They're in there really tight. So it'll be something like this. So I'll screw this together, put the cleat on the back, and I'll be ready to hang it up. Can't do it that way. I'm glad you guys saw that. Glad I ran that all the way in. Thanks for letting me know. I do that stuff all the time. The bad thing is normally I get it all the way put together before I realize it. Like I said, it's not rocket surgery. Just a quick little way of organizing some tools. I'm going to put this right here, just like that. I'm going to put the air nozzle here, just snap. That's what I'm worried about. I'm going up, but it didn't really move, so probably okay. Ha ha ha. Nice. I do have one extra one here, so I'm gonna go here. Here. I can put those anywhere. That worked out really well. There it is. I like it. And I have room up here to put my oil, and I'm gonna set some nails up here. Some brad nails and staples. I think we're good to go. Well, I appreciate you joining me today. Let me know if that gave you any ideas. I'm sure you can do a much better job making this and putting it up, but it'll work just fine for me. And now I can get off to other things. Don't have to spend all the time on that. So hey, if you haven't yet, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. I pray that God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.